So I originally thought about doing a completely different video today, but I just felt like I had to retouch on yesterday's subject. So without further ado, here's Own Your Trash Part 2. If you don't know me, my name is Brendan. This is The Lost Tribe, a channel where I help people make themselves better and further themselves along this path of life and to know the truth about everything and anything. And today, if you haven't already watched Own Your Poop Emoji in the Hand, as it is in the thumbnail, Part 1, watch that first. And this might be going over a lot of things that I already talked about in that one, but I feel like I had to just touch on excuses. Because I didn't touch on excuses at all. I just touched on just like owning your shit. You made a mistake, you own it. You own it, you do it. Like, certain things on that, just as a TLDR for that one. But excuses are the same thing. Like, we all have them. They're like a-holes. They're like buttholes. We all have one. And they stink. And it's another big thing just to even sum up this entire video is if you stop making excuses, then you will be better off. You always hear it, just anyone, and we all know that one person, and I've been that person myself. Once again, I've been that person myself. I have grown a long way in the 10 years that I've been on my own without parental help. But you still hear people like that, or you might hear yourself saying things like, oh, just even as an example today, I made an excuse today. It's cold and windy out, so I don't want to go hiking. Granted, there's a good valid reason for that. It's extremely windy, and it's not safe to be in the woods. I would love to be in the woods. This cold would not stop me, and it has in the past. The cold has stopped me in the past, and now I've become a full bearded mountain man that will be able to handle it. But that's it is aside the point. It's not aside the point. Whatever, however you want to say it. But we all make excuses. And the goal is to make as little as possible, because then you're the key with that is to be the most truthful with yourself. Essentially, like, you don't have to berate yourself, but just as an example, you get a bad test score. You could make excuses and be like, oh, the teacher didn't teach me enough, this, that. They put stuff on the test that we didn't go over in the study guide in class and everything. It's like, first off, what do you expect? It to be the exact of the study guide, except maybe just everything switched around? It's not really how you learn. It's how you memorize things and you become a slave to the system, but that's a different topic for a different day. But, yeah, you could say stuff like that. Say, oh, I never got my car fixed in time because I had all these things to do and all that stuff. But instead of making excuses, you also don't, like I said, you don't have to berate yourself. You don't have to say, I'm a piece of shit, I can't do anything right, because I've seen it's either that people do that to themselves or they're just an excuse factory. Which is a good one. I want to use that one in the future. It's like, call the wambulance because you're always crying. Yeah, excuse factory. You're an excuse factory. Punching 8 hours at the excuse factory. But yeah, this video might be another 6 minutes about excuse factories. It's not going to be, though. But instead of doing that, be honest with yourself and ask yourself the tough questions. What could I have done to have actually succeeded at what I was trying to do? Right? In the example of getting a low score in the test, could I have studied more? Could I have not been distracted while I was studying, like watching Netflix in the background? Because you can't pay attention to multitasking is a lie. People are going to be triggered by that, but multitasking is a lie. I was triggered by it the first time I learned it, but like let me know if you want me to make a video on that. And by the way, I know I'm still sort of late, but I'm at least including it in this. If you like the content, please smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, leave a comment. Thank you all for the subscribers. As of this time, 13 subscribers, baby. Let's go. You already know. But ask yourself the tough questions. Could I have done anything better to get the outcome that I desire? Because realistically, making excuses is counterproductive. Calling yourself a piece of garbage is counterproductive too. Even in jest, because your mind doesn't know the difference between you joking and you being serious. But yeah, it's not productive. Ask yourself what you could do better. Ask yourself what you could have done better. Ask yourself how you could improve. If you couldn't do anything differently, like not watch Netflix or study more, what you could have done, because you were doing the right things to improve the process to be able to get things done more efficiently. Like even in the other example of, I didn't get my car fixed because of this, that, whatever. I had so much going on. Well, it's like, well, did you scratch your balls for 45 minutes when you woke up? Or did you hop right out of bed and get everything done and start going? Did you scroll on TikTok for 25 minutes every hour and a half? It adds up. It doesn't seem like it does, but it adds up. Could go back to my social media rotting your brain video. And I'll point right here because I might put something up there. I doubt I will, because I just like to keep it simple. But yeah, social media rotting your brain. That's it adds up, man. It adds up. But anyways, ask yourself the tough questions. Stop making excuses. And once you start being truthful with yourself about all those things instead of making excuses, because ultimately, at least in my experience, I became like a chronic liar to myself when I was making excuses, and I realized it because I would make the excuses and I would know that they were BS. I would be, as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, oh, look at the load of crap flowing out of my mouth. Like I'm just saying it to other people, and it gets to a point where I believe it eventually, and that's where a lot of people are when they make excuses and believe it. And then I hope you guys are the same way, that you like when you make excuses, when it comes out, it's like, yo, that's a load of crap. I could have done so much better. And if not, you will work yourself to that point, because that's a part in the process where like you are at the point where you believe your excuses, because like, why not? Everything that comes out of your mouth is true, right? But then you'll get to a point where, because if you keep on catching yourself, like I said in part 1 of this, you keep on catching yourself and you start realizing, and you'll get to the point where you were about to say an excuse and you'll be like, yo, this is a load of crap coming out of my mouth. And you're like, all right, I'm just going to shut up. I'm just going to shut up. Yeah, you hear that wind? That's not an excuse. That's dangerous. Widowmakers are deadly. But you'll get to the point where you just stop saying excuses, because they're pointless. They're pointless. It's like but statements, with 1 T, not 2 T's, but like but statements. It's always like an excuse, it seems like. Not all of them, because that's honestly generalizing, but a lot of but statements are excuses. And if you catch yourself saying but, stop yourself right there and just think and realize what you're about to say. And if it's valid, it's valid. If it's not, because regardless, some excuses can be valid, but like most of the time, even with that, it's just that there's always something that could have been done differently. And you can't beat yourself up about the things that be done differently. You just have to move forward and get the next one and do it right. Life is a process, and it's a process of mistakes and failures and successes, and the only way you can move backwards is by not trying to improve. Even if you fail and it's like a lateral move, even if you fail, I should say, it's either a lateral move or a forward move. It's never a backwards move. It might seem like it, like you could have some failures financially, and that could be a backwards move financially. However, the experience you gained, as long as you own your shit and you don't make excuses, it will definitely be a forward move. Because that's the whole thing of that learning process. Because that's how people just continue to make the same mistakes over and over again. Because they'll have a huge failure in their life and they'll make excuses and not own their shit, so they don't learn the lesson. Because the whole point of owning your shit and not making excuses is that you learn the lesson, so that next time you are better equipped to handle it, because you're being honest with yourself. That's it. Anyways, I hope it helps. I hope it helps a lot of you guys. And it's a hard truth to swallow. And you're going to find out that a lot of the things on this channel are potentially hard truths to swallow. One of the reasons I wanted to do this channel for years. And one, I didn't have enough knowledge to do it entirely. But two, I knew there was a high potential of me getting canceled, in the sense that, like, I would trigger the F out of people because of saying things like this. Because, like, if you're getting triggered, it means that you are hearing something that you do not like, and you don't want to hear it, because, like, it's logical and it's true on the most part. There are certain people, I mean, when I hear people that says something an astronomical lie, I'm like, LOL, do your thing, chicken wing. But, yeah, I say thought-provoking things, and it will trigger people, and it's not meant to hurt anyone's feelings per se, but it's meant to open your eyes, because I feel like that is the wounding and healing process of enlightenment. Is you get triggered, and that's literally the gash getting cut, and it hurts, and you get mad, and then after you sit there and think about it, if you don't change, then it's gonna just be an open wound right there. It's gonna stay. But once you change, it starts to close up, starts to scab over, because you're sitting there thinking, I was like, do you know what, that still sort of pisses me off what he said, but there is sort of logic in it. And you know what, let me actually do some research for myself. And I implore everyone to do their own research, always. But let me do some more research for myself and figure things out. And you might not fully agree with me or anyone else in this kind of scenario, but the wound will heal because you have a better understanding of it, and you are more open to potentialities of everything. Because realistically, life is not black and white. And it's not 50 Shades of Grey like the book, it's infinite shades of gray. There is no sultry sex scenes here. This is not OnlyFans. But, life is infinite shades of gray. And once you realize that, it's really hard to get triggered by anything. And you can take definitive stances, but it's even hard to do that because you see every single angle. And that is honestly one of, like, it's the way towards enlightenment of the mind and of consciousness, and, like, attaining a higher consciousness, because of the fact that you recognize every angle and the infinite shades of gray, and you also realize that you won't know them all too, and you're okay with it. But I'm at 15 minutes. It is a little cold in here because I'm in my luxurious late 90s Toyota Corolla, and it's not very sealed. You might be able to hear the wind and everything, and I don't have the car on because it's a little loud with the heat and everything, and I just want perfect audio quality. So, on that note, you're not going to see this on Friday because I already put up a video. I already put part 1 of this video today. You're probably going to see it on Monday. But I will say, afterward, I guess, I hope your weekend was great. I hope your week is going to be fantastic. And honestly, it will be fantastic. And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button with the bell notification to get the algorithm to on a golden platter right to you, my dude. And leave a comment. Thank you all for leaving comments, by the way, once again. And thank you for my subscribers. I'm here to make a difference, and you're part of the tribe. Welcome to the tribe. And we're one big family, essentially, and it's a place for open thought. And I want to bring a lot of people up because I feel like there's a lot of division in this world. And it shouldn't be that way. And that's why we're the lost tribe. We're the ones that were lost around the world, because I know there's plenty of me out there, people like me out there, that see the craziness and don't understand why it is the way it is. And if you're not there yet, we can teach you. But we have to band together and make this world a better place through our own actions. And as I put in a comment on one of the videos, in the words of Caesar from Planet of the Apes, apes together strong. I think even just that, strong. Apes together strong. We're together. We're a lot stronger than just me being by myself or you being by yourself. And we're gonna have a collective thousands upon thousands in this YouTube channel, I guarantee you. And especially when it gets to that point, opening up a Discord and we can have free discourse for everyone. So, on that note, sun's going down, the wind is whipping hard. My name is Brendan. This is the Lost Tribe. Peace out, fam. See you later. Have a good weekend. Have a great week.